Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mama Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Anjana Salakaya Chakkhurunimilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Soyam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanam Cha Sirupam Sagrajatam Saganasi Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Raitam Sri Vishakham Vitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatribhascha Kurpa Sindhuvaivacha Patitanam Pavanabhya Vaishnavabhya Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pasata Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So welcome to the Uddhava Gītā series. So Uddhava Gītā is unparalleled instruction, unfathomable instruction of Lord Krishna to his dearmost devotees, Uddhava. It is just an elaboration of the Bhagavad Gītā instructions, because Bhagavad Gītā was spoken maybe within 45 minutes, because there was a short, there was a war about to start. So, but Uddhava Gītā was spoken at ease and at length to Uddhava. So these instructions are very, very precious for all the aspiring devotee, for all the human society, because nobody can be perfect without perfect knowledge. Nobody can act perfectly without perfect knowledge. And without acting perfectly, nobody can liberate from this obnoxious material existence. Therefore, knowledge is very, very important. So Lord Krishna, out of his causeless mercy, Supreme Lord, he himself descends and he gives the instruction. He gives this knowledge, he imparts this knowledge to all the living entities who are enmeshed in this cycle of birth and death, who are entangled in this cycle of birth and death. Sometimes he spoke, sometimes he has imparted this knowledge to Acharya. Through Acharya it has been received. So in this way, Lord instructed to Uddhava this very cream of knowledge, the profound knowledge, Uddhava Gītā. So knowledge is very important. It is, Lord Shiva also say that out of all the things, knowledge is very, very, out of all our attainment, knowledge is very, very important. Because without understanding the transcendental knowledge, we cannot get out from this ocean of material science, ocean of material existence. Therefore, Lord Shiva says that Shreyasam iha sarvesam jnanam nishreyasam param. Out of all attainment, param means the supreme attainment is this transcendental knowledge. Why it is so supreme? In this material world, there are different types of achievement, but all of them, the achievement of knowledge is considered to be the highest, because one can cross the ocean of nescience only on the boat of knowledge. Otherwise, the ocean is impassable. It is impassable, insurmountable. Mamamaya duratai. So Krishna says, Mamamaya duratai. It is very, very difficult to cross this Maya. Only through the transcendental knowledge. Because we have to surrender to Krishna. We should know how to surrender to Krishna. That transcendental knowledge. Just like Arjuna. In the beginning of the war, he was bewildered. He defied he refused to fight. But after hearing the Bhagavad Gītā wisdom, he was very enthusiastic to fight. And he told that Karisya Vachanatava, I will do as you say, I will follow your instruction. So this transformation comes because of transcendental knowledge. Therefore, nobody can act perfectly without having a perfect transcendental knowledge. So therefore, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that very important statement, that initiation does not mean that receiving the mantra or receiving the instruction how to chant the mantra. No. Initiation means how to attain this transcendental knowledge. Because this transcendental knowledge is paramount important, is indispensable, imperative, is incumbent for all the disciples, are imperative for everyone to cross this ocean. Therefore, there is a beautiful verse spoken in second canto of Bhagavatam, that you say that Jnanam, how this knowledge is important. What is the benefit of this knowledge? Transcendental knowledge in relationship with Supreme Lord Hari is the knowledge resulting in the complete suspension of the webs and whirlpools of the material modes. Now we are tossing. Now we are tossing in this webs and whirlpool of material ocean. We have got the existential crisis. We are existing in a non-existential atmosphere. As a result, we have been drowning in this ocean, unfathomable ocean. To stop this webs and whirlpools of material modes or cycle of birth and death, this transcendental knowledge is very, very important. This is like a safe boat who can not only board us, but cross us through this unfathomable, insurmountable ocean of material existence. Such knowledge is self-satisfying due to its being free from material attachment. Being transcendental, it is approved by authorities. Who could fail to be attracted? Particularly the human form of life is a prerogative, is a privilege to get this knowledge. That distinguishes between animal and human being. Because animal do not have that privilege to get this knowledge. But human being has endowed with that privilege to get this knowledge and solve the problem of cycle of birth and death and go back to original home, back to Godhead. Therefore, this transcendental knowledge is important. Bhagavad Gītā also Krishna say that if anybody is boarding on this boat of transcendental knowledge, in 4th chapter also Krishna says a few verses regarding this. He told, even if you are considered to be the most sinful of all sinners, when you are situated in the boat of transcendental knowledge, you will be able to cross over the ocean of misery. We can stop all these miseries simply by having this transcendental knowledge. Therefore, it is incumbent for us, imperative, indispensable for every living entity, particularly who has taken this human form of life, to attain this knowledge, to get this transcendental knowledge and solve the problem of the life. On this notes, we will start the chapter 3rd of Uddhava Gītā. Krishna is speaking to Uddhava that how we can get this instruction, get this transcendental knowledge, even people surrounding us. Not only people, maybe it is an insect, maybe it is a inert object like mountain, sun, sky. You can get this knowledge, this instruction. So how we can get it? So here Krishna is speaking to Uddhava that how a Brahmana called Avadhuta Brahmana, he is now teaching to the son of Jajati how we can get the instruction from the different personalities. And he accepted the 24 gurus. So last two sessions we have learned that about the 16 gurus. Today we are going to learn the remaining 8 gurus in this chapter 11.9. So let's go to the 11.9 chapter, where it is say that detachment, all that is material. So this Avadhuta Brahmana described his 7 remaining gurus, beginning with Kaurabhat. He also described an additional guru, one's own body. Total 8 in this chapter. So instruction received from the Kaurabhat is that attachment creates misery. A person who is attached has no material possession is qualified to achieve unlimited happiness. So this is a very important point. Let's go to the verses. So here we can see that the saintly Brahmana, Avadhuta Brahmana said, everyone considers certain thing within this material world to be most dear to him. And because of attachment to such things, one eventually becomes miserable. One who understands these gifts of material possessiveness, attachment, and thus achieve unlimited happiness. So very nice, important thing. Because at present moment, our present precarious condition, our present difficult predicament is due to attachment. Every one of us, Sangha Yukta Dosa, we are infected by the fault of attachment. As soon as we come to the material world, turning away from the Lord, we are attached. We have so many attachments, various attachment. And this attachment causes the distress, causes the problem. So we can see here, there's a beautiful verses in this regard. Prahlad Maharaj also said that how the attachment creates a problem. So Prahlad Maharaj said that, my dear Lord, O infallible one, my position is like that of a person who has many wives, all trying to attract him in their own way. For example, tongue is attracted to the palatable dishes, genital to sex with an attractive woman, sense of taste to contact with soft things, the belly, although filled, still wants to eat more. The ear, not attempting to hear about you, is generally attracted to cinema song. The sense of smell is attracted to yet another side. The restless eyes are attracted to scenes of sense gratification, and the active senses are attracted to elsewhere. In this way, I am certainly embarrassed. So very important point here. Here it is said that how that our all the senses are attracted to something. That is a natural propensity of the senses to be attracted. As a result, we are entrapped, just like a moth is attracted to fire and dies. Similarly, we are attracted, our natural proclivity that we are attached to the sense object. And that causes us a lot of distress. Distress means cycle of birth and death, birth and death, birth and death. And that is very precarious. That is very excruciatingly painful. Taking birth, death, disease, old age, these are very obnoxious principle misery. Very excruciatingly painful. Therefore, Avadhuta Brahmana is now speaking that in beginning with the notes that how the attachment is very difficult, very it causes the distress. Embarrass. Here Prahlad Maharaj says we are embarrassed by this all this kind of distraction, See, another verses in this chapter, he says that a man who has many wives is constantly harassed by them, is responsible for their maintenance. There's all ladies constantly pull him in different direction, struggling for her self-interest. Similarly, material sense harass the conditioned soul, pulling him in many different directions at once. So this is the same thing said the Prahlad Maharaj is speaking. So the attachment is causes a biggest problem, biggest bondage. Even this Kapil Dev is speaking to the devotee that how prasangam ajrasam pasam atmanha kavaya vidu sweva sadhu sukritta mukhyadaram. Every learned man knows that very well. Attachment for material is greatest entanglement of the spiritual. Because as soon as we are attached, completely we are absorbed in that. Particularly out of all attachment to this woman is more strong. That is called Hudaya Granthi, hard knot. Hard knot means you cannot take out easily. It is so entangled, very difficult. Sometimes the knots is so entangled we cannot take out. We have to cut it. Therefore, sadhus, it is said that but the same attachment when applied to self-realized devotee opens the door of liberation. Why? Because sadhus, they caught it. They do not want to disentangle like this. It is so much hard knot. They have to cut it by their instruction, by their word, by their wisdom, by their preaching, by their association, by their bani. They caught this. Just like supposing you want to cut something, you have to be merciless. You cannot cut something with mercy. No, you have to be sharp. You have to cut it. Similarly, sadhus, they caught it with the sharp words. Bitter the medicine, better the cure. Bitter medicine. They speak very harshly. They do not flatter. A preacher cannot be flatterer. Sorry, a flatterer cannot be preacher. They do not flatter because, oh, you are giving money, so I'm flattering. No, flattering for appreciation, flattering for accumulating disciple. No, the sadhu do not flatter for the pleasure of common people. But sadhus caught all their attachment. And that caught must be harsh. No mercy. As it is. Call a spade a spade. You are wrong. That's all. That is sadhu. Just like Prabhupada. How Prabhupada was so bold, so blunt, so blatant, rascal he used to say, with his highest of the tone, because it will cut the excessive attachment. As long as we have got attachment, we are here say that it is the greatest entanglement of the spirit soul. Spirit soul entangle. As soon as we are come out, we accept this material body, we are now attached to parents, attached to our profession, attached to our wife, children, so on, so forth. Our society. Gruha Khetra Sutatta Bite. In this way, we are bewildered with I, me, mine platform. We have forgotten our real identity. As a result, spirit soul is considered to be lost. Therefore, the sadhus, they caught it. There's a beautiful verses it is say here, that how sadhu, they caught this attachment. This verses is 11:26-26. It is said here that an intelligent person should therefore reject all bad association, instead take up association of saintly devotee, whose words cut off the excessive attachment of one's mind. Excessive attachment. Bhakti means there is a detachment and knowledge. Prabhupada says there is symptoms of bhakti. We cannot just fake it until you make it. No, you cannot fake this bhakti. There is symptoms. Bhakti means you must have this transcendental knowledge and detachment. Bhakti pareshanubhava virakti ranyata. That is the symptoms of, just like symptoms of fever. If I am having fever, I should have a temperature. Similarly, if I claim that I am bhakti, I am a devotee, I have got the Krishna bhakti, I must have transcendental knowledge, must detach from the material thing. And it's a very nice formula Prabhupada has given. If we are 100% out of 100%, if we are 90% attached to material thing. That means we are 10% Krishna consciousness. We cannot say that I am 90% material attachment, 90% Krishna consciousness. No, spiritually attached. It's a very inversely proportional. The size of our attachment is inversely proportional to size of our Krishna consciousness, size of our bhakti. So this is very good. And out of all attachment to our wife, children is very strong. It is stated, these beautiful verses spoken by the Kapiladev. So to the Bhuti, a very nice verse. It is stated here that the infatuation and bondage which accrue to a man from attachment to any other object is not as complete as that resulting from attachment to a woman or to the fellowship of men who are fond of women. That is the biggest, the strongest knot, Uddhava Granthi. Uddhava Granthi is the strongest knot that binds us, that binds the spirit soul. Attachment to the woman is so contaminating that one becomes attached to the condition of material life. Not only by the association of a woman, but by the contaminated association of person who are too attached. Not only it is so powerful that association of a person who are too attached to them, also it is very dangerous. The many reasons of our condition life in the material world. But the topmost of all such causes is association of woman, and it will be confirmed in the following stanza. In Kali Yuga, association with woman is very, very strong. In every step of life, there is association with woman. If a person goes to purchase something, the advertisement are full of picture of woman. So psychological attraction for women is very great. Therefore, people are very slack in spiritual understanding. See? Very nice. So it's very, very important thing how this association is very strong women association. Therefore, our problems comes when you attached. There are so many different type of attachment, but this is important is that when attraction between male and female is the basic principle of material existence. The basic principle. On this basis of this misconception which ties together the heart of male and female, one becomes attracted to his body, home, property, children, relatives, and wealth. In this way, one increases life illusion. Think in terms of I and mine. That is the greatest illusion, the greatest attraction of all kind of attachment and attraction, male and female. Therefore, we have to be very careful that how by transferring our attachment to a sadhu, the door of liberation will open. All our misery will be stopped, mitigated. Why? Because they will enlighten us with transcendental knowledge. So in this regard, there is a story has been given as told by the Avadutas, Brahmana to Jadu, the king of Jajati. Once a group of large hawks who were unable to find any prey attacked another. Weaker hawk who was holding some meat at the time, being in danger of life, hawk gave up his meat and experienced actual happiness. So there's a beautiful example given by Abhaduta Brahmana. So one time there was a bird, the flock of bird, Kuara bird. The hawks means Kuara bird. They were unable to find any, they were hungry, unable to find any food. So, but they saw that the weaker Kuara bird was holding some meat. So everybody was after him. Everybody were after him. And he was going up and all. And he saw that, oh, his life is very dangerous. Everybody wants to take him, to attack him. So he gave up his meat and he was very happy. Nobody was following them. So what we learn from this one, there is a very important thing we learn in these things. So first of all, one should not be envy each other. One should not be attached. So he give up this attachment to the meat, then he was happiness. Second thing, enviousness. Enviousness is envy means no vacancy in Vaikuntha. You cannot go back to Godhead if you have enviousness. That is the most dangerous kind of anartha one can harbor. We can employ everything in the service of the Lord, but enviousness cannot. Therefore, we should give up this enviousness at once. So this a beautiful lesson is learned from this Kaurabat, that one should not attach to anything, and one should not be envy of others. So here in this chapter, this Vishwanath Chakravarti is speaking that how that unless one is aloof from attachment, akinchana means done with material attachment, who has no material attachment, he can be only achieve the unlimited happiness. But as long as we are possessing something, we are attached with something, we are always unhappy. In this story, somebody was telling very nice story. One person is so stingy, he never spend money. His son thought that let me take my father to he was doing a cloth. He is a cloth merchant. So let me take my father to the all tirtha place. So he took him to all tirtha place, pilgrimage place. Still, he was so attached to his money. Then finally, he brought him to a crematorium. So that time his father was crying. Then son thought that, oh, he was changed, he transferred. But when he was asked that why you are crying, then father told that so many people are dying, so many woods have been used. I should have done the wood business rather than cloth business. So how the attachment, even at the last moment, it cannot be transformed. So therefore, this attachment is very, very dangerous. Because all this material misery because of products of modes of ignorance and passion. When we are modes and passion and ignorance, we are more and more attached. As a result, all this miseries comes. We are entangled in its complexity. Then in the second verse, we can see that the second lesson, this is the lesson from the Kaurabat. The second lesson we can learn from a small foolish child. In family life, the parents are always in anxiety about their home, children, reputation. But I have nothing to do with these things. I do not worry at all about my any family. I do not care about honor and dishonor. I enjoy only the life of the soul. I find love on the spiritual platform. Thus, I wander act like a child. So, from child, what we learn from a small child in these two verses. In this world, two type of people are free from all anxiety and merge into great happiness. One who is a retarded and another child is full. One who has approached the Supreme Lord who is beyond three modes of nature, beyond three modes of material nature. In this verse, we can learn that how we can learn from a small child. So in the small child is do not care for anything. Is a foolish child, is completely free from all kind of attachment to the family and all. So therefore he is very very happy because he do not care for any honor dishonor like this, because small foolish child and either the foolish child or advanced transcendentalist, both are them, they do not care for any kind of honor and dishonor because they do not connect to their material body. A transcendentalist is a beautiful verse. A transcendentalist like a drunkard. A drunkard do not know whether he is sitting or sleeping. The places also whether it is filthy or good. Similarly, a transcendentalist also same thing. He do not know whether he is a drunkard also same thing. Like a drunkard, a transcendentalist also same thing. He do not know what he is doing. He do not care for any kind of There's beautiful verses in this regard. He says that just as a drunken man does not notice if he is wearing his coat and shirt, similarly one is perfect in self-realization, who is thus achieved in eternal identity, does not notice whether his temporary body is sitting and standing. If by the God's will body is finished, or if by God's will he obtains a new body, a self-realized soul does not notice, just as a drunken man does not notice the situation of his outer dress. Similarly, the two kind of people, they are happy. Why? Because they do not care for honor, dishonor, happiness, unhappiness. Just like a drunken man do not know anything. So the self-realized souls, those who are advanced in Krishna consciousness, transcendentalists, they are so much absorbed in Krishna consciousness, they do not notice all this material up and down. Similarly, just like a child, a foolish child do not know anything. Honor, dishonor, you scold him, you praise him, he do not know. He do not know who is my father and all. It's like small child, foolish child. So we should learn like that. That one should be like a foolish child. One should be very happy. We should not care for this material ups and down, material honor and dishonor, material dualities. One should transcend ourselves from these material dualities. One should see everything happiness. One should not like happiness and distress. One should take it as it is. Just like Prabhupada said that we are not interested in stools, eating like dog eating the stools. Neither we are interested in halwa, but we are interested in prasad. So for a transcendentalist, for them neither dislike or not like. They do not like dislike. They are so much absorbed. So they are just beyond or transcend this material dualities of liking, disliking, honor, dishonor. So we should learn from a child about this. After the bird, then we can learn from the child. Then another beautiful lesson from a girl, how we can learn in family life. The parents are always anxiety about home. There's another yes. So both the fools and transcendentalists are retarded people. Retarded people, those are mad also. So they do not also, for them, they are very peaceful because they do not care for what is happiness, what is distress, honor, dishonor. And also a child do not know also. But a devotee also, those transcendent, they also do not know. But they are not on the same platform as a child or the same platform as a retarded people. Because why devotee indifferent to the happiness and sadness, indifferent to the honor, dishonor, on the base of the platform of perfect knowledge that I am not this body, I am the spirit soul. Somehow, circumstantially, I am engaged in this body, but my constitutionally I am spirit soul. On this perfect knowledge, devotee is indifferent. Whatever the providentially it comes, either happiness, sadness, honor, dishonor, they do not mind it. They do not, influenced by it, but on the perfect knowledge. On the other hand, the child and a retarded people also peaceful, but out of his foolishness, not perfect knowledge. But devotees peaceful is on perfect knowledge because they do not care for all these things. So that is the second thing we learn. The third things we learn from a marriageable young girls. There's a beautiful story. The Abhadutta Brahmana is speaking to king that once a marriageable young girl was alone in her house because her parents and relatives had gone that day to another place. At that time, a few men arrived at house, specially desiring to marry her. She received them with all hospitality. The girl went to the private place, began to make preparations so that the unexpected male guest could eat. As she was beating the rice, the consul bracelet on her arms were colliding, making a loud noise. The young girl feared that men would consider her family to be poor because of their daughter was busily engaged in the menial task of husking rice. Being very intelligent, the shy girls broke the shell bracelet from her arms, leaving just two on the each wrist. Thereafter, as the young girl continued to husk the rice, the two bracelets on each wrist continued to collide and make noise. Therefore, she took one bracelet off each arm. With only one left on each wrist, there was no more noise. O subduer of enemy, I travel throughout the surface and the earth, learning constantly about the nature of this world. Thus, I personally witnessed the lesson of the young girl. Very important point. See, what is the lesson? When many people live together in one place, there will be undoubtedly be quarreling. Even if only two people live together, there will be frivolous conversation and disagreement. Therefore, to avoid conflict, one should live alone, as we learn from example of the bracelet of the young girl. Very, very important. These instructions, why it is important, we have to apply in our practical day-to-day life. See, the story says that there's a young girl as a marriageable stage, and once upon a time, the relatives were not there. She was alone. Some people came to seek the bride. Just like India, they come to the house to seek the bride. The bridegroom parents, bridegroom family, they come to the house to seek the bride. So they came to seek the bride, and that time the bride, the marriageable young girl, she thought that let me prepare something for them to eat. And she was preparing something, and she was wearing the bracelet which is made of corn shell. So when he was preparing or beating the rice, husking the rice, that time there was a sound noise come. She thought that if they hear, the guest will hear the sound, they will think that their poor family, there is no maid servant, and this girl is engaged in all this menial work. So to avoid that impression, she has to break every of his bracelet and left only two. Still there was a noise. So he broke one of them. Then that is fine. So what do we learn from that? If many people are there is always the agreement, disagreement, quarrel, frivolous conversation. Even if two people also there, as soon as we meet, there's a social talk, gossiping. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Raghunath Goswami that Gramya Katha na sunibe. One should not engage in this ideal gossip, ideal talk, because these are the impediments for our spiritual advancement. Same thing here, it is said that if many people are there or two people are there, we are prone to have frivolous conversation, disagreement, and so-called unnecessary discussion, Bollywood, Hollywood, all the things. Therefore, the alone one can advance in Krishna consciousness. Sometimes they ask that how it is possible to become alone. So actually, it is not, Prabhupada said that it is unavoidable. We have to have association, because this in a society, we are not animals. We are not living in a forest. We are living in a society. So association is always inevitable. But externally, we may associate when it demands, not just frivolously, unnecessarily, but always try to avoid that as much as possible. Our real association with Bhagavatam, we should be alone with Bhagavatam, that is real association. Or we should alone with the Bhagavatam. There are two types of Bhagavatam. One is book Bhagavatam, one is person Bhagavatam. Our association is only with two, with book Bhagavatam and person Bhagavatam. Other than that, all this association will create a disagreement, unnecessary, create a frivolous talks, waste of time. Therefore, we should learn that how important to avoid complete conflict, one should live alone. Live alone means live in association of devotee. And those devotee who is always talking Krishna Katha. Not that every association is perfect. Even though among devotees also there are category. So one should associate with the like-minded devotee who is always engaged in this glorifying the Lord, hearing and glorifying Krishna Katha, Hari Katha, Amrutam. That is most important. These things we can learn from these young girls. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given a nice example in this regard. Because a young girl mentioned in a story had no husband, she had to fulfill her duties as a host by removing her bracelets, so that each wrist held one bracelet only. In the same way, the process of Jnana Yoga or spiritual advancement by philosophical speculation demand that speculating sages live alone, without any other association. Since Jnanis have dedicated their life to speculation, there will undoubtedly be endless argument and quarreling on technical points if many Jnanis live together. Therefore, to keep peaceful atmosphere, they must live alone. On the other hand, king's daughter who has been duly married to an aristocratic prince fulfills her duty to her husband by dressing herself attractively with innumerable ornament, approaching him for a love. Similarly, the goddess of devotion, Bhakti Devi, decorates herself with innumerable ornament of the Vaishnava, who come together to relish sweet sound of holy name of the Lord. Because pure Vaishnava do not intimately associate with non-devotee, it may be said that they reside alone, and thus they also fulfill the purpose of this verse. This cannot be any quarrel among the pure Vaishnava, because they are on the real platform of desirelessness, not wanting even salvation or mystic power. What to speak about sense gratification, because they are all devotees of Krishna. They may freely associate with one another for glorifying the Lord, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 3:25-34. A pure devotee who is attached to the activity of devotional service, who always engage in the service of my lotus feet, never desire to become one with me. Such a devotee who unflinchingly engage, always glorify my pastime and activity. So here, very nice, beautiful commentary is given by Bhakti Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. The same thing what I told, that living alone, devotee means living in association with Bhagavatam. Two kind of Bhagavatam, pure Bhagavatam and book Bhagavatam. Because Bhagavatam, the Jnanis are advised to live alone. Why? Because they speculate and they agreement. One cannot be a philosopher or mental speculator if one does not differ with others, Muni. It stated that, what is that? Naso Rushi, Matahi Bhinna, Matam me Bhinna. So their Muni means one has to differ with others. Therefore, they are advised to live alone. But for devotees, association of devotees like live alone. Live alone means without associating with non-devotees. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur has commented on this verse as follows: the young girl in the story kept only one bracelet on each wrist, so that there would be no noisy conflict among the bracelets. Similarly, one should give up association of those who are not devoted to the Supreme Lord. This is the actual lesson to be learned. A real Vaishnava is always pure and faultless in character. However, in those places where non-devotee congregate, there will undoubtedly be envious criticism of the devotional service of the Lord. Those who falsely attempt to analyze a reality without Supreme Personality of Godhead will create much disturbing noise in the same philosophy. Therefore, one should remain in those places where Supreme Lord is properly worshipped according to the Vedic standard. If everyone is dedicated to glorifying Personality of Godhead, Krishna, there will not be any impediment in mutual association. However, in a plane where people have many different purposes besides pleasure of Supreme Lord, social dealing will certainly be disrupted. One should therefore avoid the association of those who are inimical to devotional service. Otherwise, one will be frustrated in achieving spiritual purpose of life. So here, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur also says same thing. It's a beautiful verses Madhvacharya quoted this one. One should not under any circumstances live with those who are not devotee of the Lord. On the other hand, one should stay with many devotees because such association award liberation. Beautiful verses. Sajjaniya sotu muktida. Muktida means bhaktida, muktida. Muktida means who give mukti. Having perfected the yoga sitting posture, conquered the breathing process, one should make the mind steady and detachment, regulated practice of yoga. Thus, one should carefully fix the mind, the single goal of yoga practice. The mind can be controlled when it is fixed on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Having achieved the stable situation, mind becomes free from the polluted desire to execute material activity. Thus, as the mode of goodness increases in strength, one can completely give up the modes of passion and ignorance. Gradually, one transcends even the material mode of goodness. When the mind is freed from the fuel of modes of nature, the fire of material existence is extinguished. Thus, one achieves the transcendental platform of direct relationship with the object of his meditation. So, this is another lesson from the arrow maker. One time, what happened, there's a beautiful story. When one's consciousness is completely fixed on the absolute truth, personality of Godhead, one no longer sees duality or internal external reality. The example is given of the arrow maker who was so absorbed in making the straight arrow that he did not even see or notice the king himself, who was passing right next to him. There's an arrow maker was there who was absorbed in making a straight arrow, and there was a king was passing. He did not notice it. Why? Because he was so absorbed. Just like Arjuna was asked that everybody was there was a taste. Dronacharya conducted a test to all his disciples, Kauravas and Pandavas. So he put a bird on the tree and he asked everybody to shoot the arrow. So, and before they shoot the arrow, Dronacharya asked everyone, what you see? Everybody say that I see this, that, this, everything. Along with bird, we see tree, branches, sky, like this. But Arjuna say, I only see the eyes of the bird. That kind of absorption is very important. So here it is said that the arrow maker is so absorbed in making, he did not notice all the things. Just like Arjuna did not notice the branch, tree, and sky. So similarly, we should be tasmad ekena manasa, ekaha kuru nandana, one pointed. There's a beautiful verses in this regard. We will go and come back. This is in I think yes, Canto 1 to 14. I think yes. There's a beautiful verses. Tasmad ekena manasa. तस्माद एकेन मनसा भोग भगवान सातुत्तम पति श्रोतेव कितिते बचधाय ध्येय पूजस्य च नित्यदा. So it is said that therefore with one pointed attention one should constantly hear about, glorify, remember, worship the personality of God who is the protector of the world. One pointed. Ekaha kurunandana. Everything is one pointed. Completely absorbed. Krishna also say in 12th chapter in Bhagavad Gītā, even 8th chapter also, 8:14, so many verses Krishna say that one is completely one-pointed devotional service. For them, it is very easy to get me. Ananya Chetana Satatam. Ananya Chetana means undivided, not diverted attention. That has to be there. That kind of attention, absorption is must be there in bhakti. What will happen? Jemam smaranti nityasa tasyam sulabha partha nitya yuktas yogina. This undivided attention in devotional service, that makes one to easy, makes it easier to get Krishna. Krishna himself say, tasyam sulabha partha. One who always remember me without deviation. I am easy to obtain, O son of Partha, because of this constant engagement in devotional service. Therefore, one should be like an arrow maker. One should not unnecessarily notice here and there. Distract. One pointed attention. Then it's very easy to obtain Krishna, obtain the perfection. That is the lesson we learn from the arrow maker. The beautiful verses also that it is stated by Raya Ramananda that Stavara Jangama dekhe, na dekhe tara murti, sarvarta dekhe more ishta devata srut. So, although a person sees everything, but he does not see them, he sees only Krishna. Therefore, our mind should be absorbed in undeviatedly. Because mind is very fickle, obstinate. It has to be engaged in Krishna consciousness, one-pointed, undivided, undeviated. To control the mind is very difficult. So we should learn from the arrow maker how to concentrate our mind on Krishna. A saintly person should remain alone, constantly travel without any fixed residence. Being alert, he should remain secluded, should act in such a way that he is not recognized or noticed by others. Moving without companion, he should not speak more than required. This is a very important verse. This is a lesson from this serpent. Just like a serpent, he will move with fear that people will kill. He move as if, unnoticed, unrecognized. So everything we can learn and apply in our day-to-day life. For a serpent, we learn that just like a serpent is moving without notice, similarly we should, here it is say that very nicely, when a person living in, when a person living in a material body try to construct a happy home, the result is fruitless, miserable. The snake, however, enters home that has been built by others and prospers happily. There are two things we should learn from the snake. Snake always moves. He do not want to get noticed because he may be killed. Therefore, a person who is advanced in Krishna consciousness, he should not advertise himself. Oh, I am so great devotee like this. No, he should be unnoticed. Unnoticed. Just like Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. So they came, Sanatana Goswami, when he came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu was there in Varanasi, in the house of Tapan Misra, Chandrasekhar. So he was at the door, and Chandrasekhar came and saw that he could not recognize Sanatana Goswami. He came to the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said that I saw a mendicant. So they are not like, although Sanatana Goswami was the finance minister, or actually chief minister under the Hussain Shah administration in Bengal, but he gave up everything. He came as a mendicant and just unnoticed. But Mahaprabhu, of course, he immediately embraced him. He asked him to come inside and embraced him, understanding his the spiritual, spiritual progress and spiritual strength, spiritual standard of Sanatana Goswami. He embraced him. Rupa Goswami also same thing. He was very humble in humility, unnoticed. So the Krishna consciousness devotees should not advertise it. There is a beautiful verse, I forget. It is stated that devotees should not be devotees should not advertise the devotional service. In 11th canto only, it is stated that one should not advertise the devotional service. Meek and humble always, always unnoticed they go. They do not want to show up. Nowadays everything is show up. More you show up, I am a devotee, big tilak, big. No. Real symptoms of a devotee means they are unnoticed. They do not want to advertise, just like Madhavendra Puri. When Madhavendra Puri went to, from Vrindavan, he went to Puri Jagannath to bring the chandan, sandal for Gopal in Vrindavan. On the way, he rested in Baleshwar. In Baleshwar, the Khirochora Gopinath. Khirochora Gopinath means Gopinath who stole he saw the Gopinath temple there. And he saw also that very sweet rice kheer was offered to him. So he was thinking that if I will have little bit of kheer taste, so that I will prepare the same type of kheer and offer to Gopal at Vrindavan. And Krishna himself, Gopinath himself, stole this kheer which was offered to him and kept it for Madhavendra Puri and gave to Madhavendra Puri. And next day Pujari came to know all the things. But because people will come to Madhavendra Puri and praising him, such an exalted devotee, that Krishna himself steals for you, Madhavendra Puri left this place. That is a vivid example how a devotee should be like a serpent, should be unnoticed. Another thing very important, just like a materialistic, they build big temple, big skyscraper, sorry, big house, big skyscraper, but result is fruitless and miserable. They do not enjoy, their maid is enjoying, or they somebody is just like a public park, nobody goes. Prabhupada says that ajagara vritti, they construct, we go and enjoy. Similarly, a snake enters a home that has been built by others and prosper happily. Just like a snake, he never built a hole, but the hole is there means he will enter and make it his home and live prosper. Similarly, this materialistic, they build everything, but it was enjoyed by others. Therefore, one should not be greedy enough to, snake does not have proclivity to build his own home, but rather lives in a suitable place constructed by other creature. That does not entangle himself in the labor of home building. Unnecessary. Devotee, sometimes neophyte devotee building, I have this condo, I have this building, I have this house. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur pointed out that although materialistic person take unlimited pains to invent and mass produce electricity, automobiles, airplane, etc., ultimately these things are meant for the convenience of Vaishnava who are preaching Krishna consciousness. See, Prabhupada also same thing, ajagara vritti. Ajagara, they will not go and hunt for his food, search for his food, but the food will come to him. The karmis will always go to such trouble, and devotee will always offer such laborious production to the Supreme Personality of Godhead by engaging them in his loving service. This is preaching. Preaching means engage, everything belongs to Lord, and you are claiming as yours and attaining it by all kind of hard labor. But devotee engage in this, all these things engage in the service of the Lord. The devotees being concerned with the ultimate perfection of life do not personally struggle for material advancement. Devotee means no material advancement, no planning. Our planning is accepting the plan of Krishna. Simply engage in devotional service. How to improve, how to ameliorating our devotional condition rather than material condition. That is the devotee concern and devotee consideration. On the other hand, there is no need for the devotee to artificially imitate the austere lifestyle of ancient time. A devotee goal is to simply serve Krishna as nicely as possible. Therefore, devotee willingly accept beautiful men and all type of material opulences, not with any personal attachment, but only so that these things can be engaged in the loving service of the Lord. If one engages such things with the desire to enjoy them, one fall down from the platform of pure devotion. That's what Rupa Goswami says, anasaktasya vishaya. Everything should be engaged. We are not detest anything. Everything we are accepted for in this, that is called Yukta Vairaga, in the service of the Lord, not our personal enjoyment. The Lord of the universe, Narayana, is worshipable God for all living entity. Without extraneous assistance, the Lord creates this universe by his own potency. At the time of annihilation, Lord destroys the universal through his personal expansion of time. Withdraw all the cosmos, including the conditioned living entity within himself. Thus, he unlimited self is the shelter and reservoir of all potency. Subtle pradhana, the basis of all cosmic manifestation, conjuncted within the Lord. Is in this way not different from him. In the aftermath of annihilation of the lost transformer. This verses is very nice. We learn from the spider. Just like a spider, you say that this verses is an example of we learning from a spider. Just as from within himself the spider expands thread through his mouth, plays with it, for some time and eventually swallow it. Similarly, Supreme Personality of Godhead expands his personal potency from within himself. Thus, Lord displays the network of cosmic manifestation, utilizes it according to his purpose, and eventually withdraw it completely within himself. So that is called Bhuta Bhuta Pralyate. So Lord, everything emanates from the Lord. Lord say, Aham Sarvasya Prabhava. So everything is emanates from the Lord. Actually, it is said that Aham Evasam Evagri. There was no material creation. So Lord creates this. And again, after the creation, and when its purpose is fulfilled or utilizes according to its purpose, then again eventually you withdraw it. Just like manifestation. This cosmic manifestation, Lord created as a Mahavishnu, expanded as Purusha Avatar Mahavishnu, Garbhodakha Sai Vishnu, Kshirodakha Sai Vishnu. So he expanded himself and he created this material world. He created the material ingredient as a Mahatattva, as a Mahavishnu. All the Mahatattva, Pradhana and Maya created by the Mahavishnu. After he created that, then he went inside every universe as a Garbhodakha Sai Vishnu. Then again, he expanded and went inside the Kshirodakha Sai Vishnu in the heart of every living entity. So he expanded himself and he created this cosmic manifestation. Again, after some time, there is a pralaya, devastation, where he withdraws everything. That is called absolute or complete devastation. Withdraws all his creation. Just like a spider. We should learn from a spider that how God is created everything. The same way a spider created the network and finally is swallowed. That is the thing we should learn from the spider. The one who is intelligent obtains spiritual knowledge even from an insignificant creature like spider. Thus, transcendental knowledge is visible everywhere, for one eyes are opened in Krishna consciousness. See how we can learn from everywhere. From a spider also we learn that most important thing, how this world is created, how world is destroyed, or how the world is manifested and unmanifested by the Supreme Lord. Jasyaiku nishwasita kalam atvalamba jivanti loma bilada jagadandanatha Vishnur mahan sayajasya kala vishesho govindam adi purusam tamaham badami. How Lord created everything by his breathing process, by his exhaling so many universes created, by his inhaling all these universes again wind up. We should learn from a spider only, a small spider, If out of love, hate, fear, and embodied soul fixes his mind with intelligent and complete concentration of a particular bodily form, he will certainly attain the form that is meditating on. This is very important verses. O king, once a wasp forced a weaker insect to enter his hive, kept him trapped there. In great fear, the weak insect constantly meditated upon his capture. Without giving up his body, he gradually achieved the same state of existence as the wasp. Thus, one achieved the state of existence according to one constant concentration. Very important question. The following question may be raised: since the weaker insect in this story did not physically change his body, how can it be said that he achieved the same state of existence as the wasp? Actually, by constant meditation upon a particular object of one's consciousness becomes filled with its quality. Due to extreme fear of the smaller insect was absorbed in the characteristic activities of the large wasp, thus entered into existence of the wasp. Due to such meditation, he actually took the body of a wasp in his blessed life. So this is very important. Krishna says, "Yam yam bhapi smaranam bhajatajjanti antakalaparam tam tam evati konte tada bhava bhavitam." So Krishna say also our psychological condition at the time of death, that will determines our next body. So how the psychological condition at the time of death influence, Prabhupada written in purport, throughout our life, the attachment, our pet attachment will influence at the time of death, influence our mind. Just like a person who is appearing the examination, a student. So at the time of examination, how he is going to coming out flying colors, determine his entire calendar year preparation, entire year of preparation, vigorous preparation, that will be reflected, that will influence his performance at the time of examination. Similarly, our psychological condition at the time of death, influenced by the throughout the life, how much we are attached to particular, how with our meditation on the particular object, that will influence. Therefore, Prabhupada says that therefore we should mold our life such as that we will be always thinking of Krishna and we will go back to Godhead. That is a very, very important thing. Either out of fear, out of love, or just like Kansa. Kansa also got liberation because he was always meditating on the Krishna out of hatredness, out of fear. So either of the cases, either out of love, out of lust, like Narada Muni say, the beautiful verses, either out of lust, out of hatred, out of fear. If we meditate on the form, we will get that form. Therefore, it is advised that one should mold our life to meditate with love the form of Krishna, the Sam Sundar, so that our next life will be spiritual. Just like in the example, how a weak insect, when he was captive by a hive of wasp, he was always meditating fear, meditating wasp, and he get the next life as a wasp. So this is very important. This is a beautiful verses. I forgot. It is stated that, supposing, let me see whether I can get it or not. That a man is thinking of the woman at the time of death, so he will get the same kind of like if a man is thinking of woman, he will get woman body in the next life. I forgot the beautiful verses is there. You say that at the time of death, you meditate just like caterpillar and butterflies. So how the caterpillar is concentrating on the meditating on the butterfly, he become butterfly in the next life. Similarly, at the time of death, if we are thinking of the anything we are thinking, that will become. I think this is there's a verse is there. 331. I forgot this one. Yes. A living entity who, as a result of attachment to a woman in his previous life, has been endowed with the form of a woman, foolishly looks upon Maya in the form of a man, her husband, as a bestower of wealth, progeny, house, other material assets. Exactly same thing. Just a woman, just a man in previous life attached to the woman, and he gets the body of woman. So very important. So when one should mold our life in such a way that one should not be attached to any material things, but attached to Krishna. We should learn from this, from the weaker insects. So everything we can learn from the different people, different things. Working from all the spiritual master, I have acquired great wisdom. Now please listen as I explain what I learned from my own body. That is very, very important. Our own body also we learn how to detach. Material body is also my spiritual master because it teaches me detachment. Being subject to the creation destruction, it always comes to the painful end. Thus, through using my body to acquire knowledge, I always remember that it will automatically conjured by others. Remaining detached, I move about the world. See, a man attached to the body accumulates money with great struggle to expand, protect position of his wife, children, property, domestic animals, servant, homes, relatives, so on. He does all this for the glorification of his own body. A tree before dying produces seed of future tree. The dying body manifests the seed of one next material body in the form of one's accumulated karma. Thus, assuring the continuation of material existence, the material body skin sinks down and dies. Here, what is very important. Among all gurus, the material body is certainly the best since it awards the detachment, fine intelligence, and enables one to engage in devotional service of the Lord. Thus, we should stop the body, although it is temporary, with great attachment or risk and offense of ungratefulness. A man who has many wives is constantly harass them. He is responsible for their maintenance. Thus, all ladies constantly pull them in different direction. He is struggling for her self-interest. Similarly, material sense harass conditioned souls. See, all these things we learn from the material body, because material body is like a temporary, transient. It has a sixth transformation. It comes into the existence, it grows, it produces some byproduct, it dwindles and dies. Not only that, during this period of time also, not only transient, during this time also, it was harassed. How it was harassed? The senses, all the senses are like a wives or ladies. They are dragging and they are making this body very harassed. One side, the tongue is pulling him to arrange tasty food. Then thirst drags him to get suitable drink. Simultaneously, sex organ clamor for satisfaction. Sense touch demands soft, sensuous object. The belly harasses him until it is filled. Ears demand to hear pleasing sound. The sense of smell hankers for pleasant aromas. Fickle eyes clamor for pleasing sight. Thus, the sense organ and limbs, all desiring satisfaction, pull the living entity in many directions. So, in this way, one is harassed. So here very important verse is there that, see, here it is say that the material body we should learn detachment, because material body is painful. Body is called Badhi Mandira, is temple of disease, temple of miseries, because so many senses it wants satisfaction, so it was dragging and it causes all this pain. It's temporary, it is death, birth, disease, old age, all kind of things are there. Transformation, six type of transformation of the body. Lamentation, everything is there. For the body, these all kind of things are there. It is stated in these beautiful verses. That lamentation, elation, fear, anger, greed, confusion, hankering, as well as birth, death are experience of the false ego, not of the pure. So false ego is in the body. So all these things are there. So therefore one should learn the detachment, because body is dwindling. Body is meant for dwindling. Therefore it is stated, this beautiful, very important verses in this chapter is this verse 11:9-29. So it is stated that labda sudullabam idam bahusambamate manusyam arthadam anityam apiyadhira tunnam jatidhanapate dhanumurtu javani sessa vishaya kalo sarpatasya. After many, many birth and death, one achieves the rare human form of life, which although temporary affords one the opportunity to attain highest perfection. Thus, the sober human being should quickly endeavor for the ultimate perfection of life, as long as his body, which always subject to death, has not fallen down and died. After all, this sense gratification is available even in the most abominable species of life, whereas Krishna consciousness is possible only for human beings. This is a beautiful verse frequently quoted by Prabhupada. So this body is very, very unique privilege, because after many, many births, undergoing the transmigration, asitim chaturas chaiva lakshana, 8.4 million species of life, evolutionary process, we have attained this human form of life. And this human form of life is temporary. Therefore, they are detached. We should detach materially. We know that we are not going to have any achievement from the body, any material achievement, because at the time of death, one cannot go anything, any of his attachment, any of his relatives, nobody will go with us. There's a beautiful verses Prahlad Maharaj is also spoke in this regard. Two verses he spoke, that since the body itself is ultimately meant to become stools or earth, what is the meaning of paraphernalia related to the body, such as wives, residence, wealth, children, relatives, servant, friend, kingdom, treasure, animal, ministry? They are also temporary. What more can be said about it? So all our things which is attached to our body, all the bodily paraphernalia, they are also temporary. Body is temporary. So why there is attachment? Therefore one should learn the detachment. Therefore, it is said that labda sudullabam idam bahusambhavati. After many, many evolutionary processes, we have got this human body, because human body is the perfection of all species, because it allows us the opportunity to go back to Godhead, to stop this miserable condition of material existence. Therefore, Krishna says in the previous verse, after creating human form of life, he is very satisfied. Because when he created other species, they could not understand the purpose of life. Therefore, he created human form of life that allows the opportunity to understand the value of human purpose, deeper purpose of human form of life, ultimate goal of human form, ultimate goal of life. Therefore, it is stated that labda sudalabam idam bahu sambhamate. After many, many births, one obtained this body, and this body also temporary. But still, before the body dies, one should endeavor for the ultimate purpose of life, that is Krishna consciousness. That is Krishna consciousness. That is the best utilization of this body. How to become Krishna consciousness. Therefore, we should learn from the body, detach from the anything material. We should not anything related to the body, because body is temporary. But with this body, we can make a solution by attaching to Krishna consciousness or devotional service. Because people are so attached because people wanted sense gratification. People want to have a wife for sense enjoyment. People want to expand his enjoyment, so they have a children, they have house. All this, the sense gratification process. But all the things are very temporary by nature. At the end, in the end, is going to be baffled. Everything, all our plan, our dreams and schemes for sense gratification going to be baffled, because body itself is temporary. Just like here it is say. Therefore, one should not attach to this body for sense gratification. Rather, one should attach to the body for ultimate goal of life, that is Nish Krishna consciousness. How to attain bhakti. One reaches beautiful wife, female friends, one's son, daughter, one's residence, one domestic animal like cows, elephants, horse, one's treasury, economic development, sense gratification. Indeed, even the lifetime in which one can enjoy all this material opulence are certainly temporary and flickering. Since the opportunity of human life is temporary, what benefit can this material opulence give to a sensible man who has understood himself to be eternal? These beautiful verses, bang on. Therefore, it is said that Nishreyasya Kalau. Therefore, it is said that before it, Tunnam Jatitana Patid Anumurtu Javan, before it dies body, one should utilize this. Utilize for the ultimate goal of life, Krishna consciousness. We should learn from this material body how to detach from the material thing and how to utilize to attain the ultimate goal of life, that is Krishna consciousness. So all these things in this chapter, the 8 gurus are there, 7 gurus in material body. So all the things we should learn, beautiful lessons from the core of bird, how become, should not be attached and should not be envious. Second, we learn from the arrow maker, that how we should be very one-pointed devotion to the Supreme Lord, so that we can easily achieve our success. One should not divert or distract his attention. Third, we learn from a young girls that how, if many people, how we should be alone. Alone means with association of devotee, not with association of non-devotee. And fourth things we learn from a snake, how we should be unnoticed. We should not advertise our devotional service. We should not be unnoticed, always unnoticed. And also, one should not build home, understanding that it is enjoyed by someone else. Just like a snake, never built his holes, but he goes into holes and make it. Similarly, in this material world, everything is temporary. You should not make build a house, house and so many material assets. And another things we learn from the wasp, that how the wasp, this weaker insect, who are meditating on the wasp, takes the body of wasp. Similarly, when you meditate always in Krishna consciousness, Krishna, his name, his form, quality, we will have association of Krishna in the next life. And finally, we learn from our material body, how to become detached from the material body and use this body, utilize this material body in the service of the Lord to attain the ultimate goal of life. Thank you very much. उद्धव गीता की जय, जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय।